Episode 4 Twisted Karma and His Last Bow.
Pipe in hand, Sholmes looked down at the thick, rolling fog outside our window. I wonder exactly how many mysteries are out there, hidden within this bed of fog, he said. Indeed, a most bizarre incident, born of a curious advertisement. A hellhound's mad gallop through the shadows of a serial murder. An executed man's graveyard resurrection in the dead of night. And a commonplace killing in a small, forgotten room at the edge of town. There is, naturally, always another side to every case, of which most remain ignorant. And it is that other side which compels me to the scene of the crime, Wilson. So quickly now, take your hat and let's be on our way, my dear fellow. For our adventure is not over yet. Come, the game is afoot.
Well, hey howdy everyone, Locity here, back in action for more Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolved Attraction. That's right, we're on the 4th case of this amazing adventure. It's been 8 days after that earth-shattering trial, and Cosmo regaining his memory. We were in the foyer of one of London's most luxurious hotels, the Great Waterloo Hotel. The 1st of November, 10:24 a.m., Great Waterloo Hotel foyer. Professor Mikotoba is due to arrive at any moment. Yes, I'm so glad we got here in time. Sasato-san hasn't been the same since what happened. Not that I'm surprised. The truth about Kazuma-sama's father... Do you suppose my father knew that he was actually the mass murderer? The professor, you mean? I knew that's what she was thinking about. There's a good chance, I'd say. I mean, they did come here to London together 16 years ago, didn't they? Yes, that's true. Come to think of it, didn't you say that Professor Mikotoba knew about Kazuma going missing in Hong Kong as well? That's right. But for some reason, he wasn't at liberty to talk to me about it. Probably means he knows then. About Kazuma showing up here in London, amnesia, and that he's regained his memory now. Oh, Father! Oh, there she is! Hello, Susato. How are you? I'm very well, thank you. We're delighted you've arrived safe and sound. Hello, Mr. Naruto. Very kind of you to take the trouble to meet us here. Oh no, not at all. It's my pleasure. We've heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know? The news has crossed the seas. It has? Always look forward to reading the monthly reports that arrive with the steamships from Britain. Oh, I see. Well, thank you very much. Who is that man? And why do I feel as though I've seen him before? I take it from your expression that you can't quite place me. In that case, how about a little reminder, as say Shiro? A firm tap should do it. Yes. A firm tap? What? Here we go then. I hereby pronounce the defendant, Rino Suke Naruhodo, guilty. Ah! Oh! You're... The court will now hear the trial of Rinosuke Naruhodo. Your Excellency! Hello, Judge, Chikoku. How are you? It's been a long time. Good. You remember now. That really did the trick. Guilty. Only I was declared not guilty, wasn't I? There was no laughing at the time. So London again, after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. To be honest, I never thought I'd be back. Neither did I. I didn't imagine Japan would ever be invited to an international synopsis like this. Though, really, I doubt anyone did, to be honest. It's all thanks to you, isn't it, Seishiro? What are you talking about, Yuji?
Of course, Judge Jigoku. You must complete the set. He's the other man who 16 years ago, in London with Kazuma's father and Professor Mikotoba. He's the third visiting scholar.
Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a lot of time. I must say, I'm very envious of your administrational status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you? Oh, I knew you were jealous.
Sorry? Ministerial status?
Yes, didn't you know? Seishiro here is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. It was his personal insistence that allowed you to take Kazuma's place here on this study tour. Guilty as charged.
Oh, well, thank you very much. He's really every bit as important as he looks.
Yes, no, not at all. I received a telegram from Lord Strongheart yesterday.
Oh, you did?
It appears that some things came to light in a trial you were involved with 8 days ago. About what happened 10 years ago? That tragedy?
Yes, could you tell us, any more about it? Well, first things first. Give them the standard heave-ho. Heave-ho! Professor Mikotoba, I wonder, could I show you something?
Why do you seem so nervous?
I suppose because I'm a student showing you something to a professor, there's always quite nerve-wracking.
Well, I'm sorry I perturbed you in a way, but anyway, afraid I have nothing useful to say about that, really.
Okay. Well, let's examine places I would like to examine. Oh. Ooh, picture. Look at that, it's a picture of the Crystal Tower. Well, the Great Exposition is one of Britain's most prestigious achievements in recent years. I wonder how tall it is. It really does represent the pinnacle of scientific achievement in so many ways. There's a 20-meter tall chimney on the bathhouse near my lodgings at Yume University. The attendant there is always boasting that it's the tallest object in the neighborhood. I'm sure. Did you know that over the channel in Paris, there's a tower that's 300 meters tall? What? How many times taller is the chimney at Yume
soaking hot springs is that? And if it's that tall, how does it draw? How does it draw properly? The smoke would get stuck, surely. I don't think that's the sort of tower, Mr. Naruto. He's just a little bit dumb. But only about things that, like, don't necessarily matter. You know? You seen all those sparkling jewels up there? They must have gathered every gem in the world for that. Ah, it's called a chandelier, I believe. It's designed to provide elegant lighting in large, spacious rooms like this. So they had to gather every gem in the world just to eliminate one room? It's probably electric light bulbs that are actually throwing the light. If I tried to hang something like that from the ceiling in the office, it'd be scrambling on the floor. I think perhaps chandeliers aren't for you, Mr. Naruto. Yeah, they're actually for very big areas. Chandeliers. It's a very odd thing that it needs to be like a very big room. That desk is known as the hotel reception. Anyone wanting to spend the night has to report there to sign in for their stay. Oh, so do you think that's the head clerk behind the desk there? Yes, I'm sure it must be. I'd like to stay in a grand hotel like this for a little while. Wouldn't you? Just to know what it's like. If the hotel fee was paid through our stipend, I'm afraid it might bankrupt our homeland. True. Planning gives the word expensive a whole new meaning. Real, actually. One of the few places in the world that has not suffered from deflation. Or inflation, I should say. Which is rather odd considering. Because, like, you would think other places would have more money. Like, Euro got really close, but it didn't hold a spot. So I had no idea what they're doing for that magical system, but yeah, it is expensive. Look at those cases that just left there on the trolley. Aren't they worried about thieves? No, I am. Haven't you seen the porter over there? Don't worry. He's obviously keeping an eye on everything. Ah, so it's a trap. Designed to catch any chancers who might be tempted. There's the porter. Why did the porter give me such a scathing look just now? Do you suppose... Well, some might say you look a little suspicious with your jet black clothes. Not everyone clad in black is some sort of ninja with intent to steal, you know? Right? No, I gotta be honest, it's not a good look either. Like, Renosuke, this is all kind of on you. I'd better say. So how was the voyage here? Well, 50 days at sea is a long time by anyone's standards. It wasn't as bad as when we first came 16 years ago. Oh, that's true. Then I truly wondered if we wouldn't be drifting in the vast ocean for the rest of our lives. This time we follow the same route as you, so we were able to relax and enjoy the experience. Ah, so you stopped in France's beautiful capital, Paris? We did, yes, though only for one night. And yesterday evening we left the port of Dunkirk for Dover. Just in time for the synopsis, in fact. It starts tomorrow. It's wonderful that you were invited to attend such an important international event. I'm very proud of you, Father. It's thanks to Seishiro here. 16 years ago, he managed to integrate himself with Britain's Attorney General. Sure, that's why he was invited. I suppose you could say I'm something of an appendage by default. Speak for yourself, Eugene. You were close friends with the
professor of forensic science at the major hospital. Yes, well, I'd rather not dredge all that up, really. Oh, there's been a lot of water under the bridge since then. That doesn't bring him back.
Cosmo's father, I suppose?
Well,
The professor, the killer who took the lives of 5 members of the British aristocracy, was actually Kazuma's father, wasn't he?
that's correct. Kenshi Hasogi.
You knew, I presume, father?
Yes, he was a close friend at the time. Kenshin came to Britain as a police detective. He was studying investigative techniques at Scotland Yard. I never understood what drove the man to commit such heinous acts. It was a closed trial, so the public never knew the truth, but he was executed with little ado. To this day, very few people know what really happened, even in our homeland.
But what about Kazuma? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father?
No, of course not. He was told his father passed from sickness. However, I suspect he may have his doubts.
Well, why?
As you know, I tried to guide Kazuma growing up, as if he were my own son. Then one day, he came to my office at the university and said,
I've decided. I want to travel to Great Britain and study there. Do you think he wanted to come here to investigate his father's death?
I don't know. But when I looked into his eyes, I did know that there was no way I'd be able to stop him.
Something else came to light in the trial the other day, actually.
Oh? What?
Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and been missing for almost a year, Kazuma has since turned up here in London, working as the apprentice of Lord Van Zeeks.
What? What? That's news to us.
So, Lord Strongheart's telegram neglected to mention that part then.
Yeah, his reappearance. I'm glad he's alive though, I gotta be real, like, ooh, please.
As you know, we both thought Kazuma had died on the steamship during our voyage to Great Britain in January. But he didn't die. He's alive. As you knew, didn't you, Father?
In actual fact, no. What I did know is that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, he mysteriously vanished. He sent a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try to assert what had happened, but to no avail. But he's still alive? And here in London, you say? I never dared even to dream it. Why on earth did the young man not make contact? The government and the police have been chasing clues fruitlessly for months now.
Well, it seems he was suffering from amnesia.
What? Amnesia?
When he first came across him again here in London, didn't know who either of us were.
I see.
He only regained his memory 8 days ago.
This is unbelievable. Yes, it's quite miraculous. I wonder why Lord Strongheart didn't let us know. I must speak with him urgently.
Wonder how Cosmo's been these past few days. Would it be wrong of us to go and visit him? Alright, what about their time in Britain then? That began 16 years ago. It's a distant memory, really. It was Eugene here, Genshin Asogi, and myself. We were the original three. The first traditional scholars from Japan to travel overseas to study. Most voyages were not what they are today, I can tell you.
16 years ago. Things were tough for their generation.
Your father was an exceptionally fine medical student at Yume University at the time, you know, young lady.
Yes, grandmother told me.
He went to do research at the Great London Hospital to study autopsy. Basically unheard of in Japan. Yes, it was a eerie place, sandwiched between the back of a prison and a burial ground.
Not more talk of graves.
Very often, there's no one willing to deal with bodies following autopsy work. So you see, autopsy labs have something of an unavoidable relationship with graveyards and prisons.
Not my cup of tea at all.
Do you remember that Scottish, prisoner, governor? Caden, his name was? He was a good man. Yes, but then, of course, in our 60th year, here, everything changed with that dreadful case. When Genshin was arrested for a series of the most gruesome murders. I simply couldn't believe it. I'd known the man for years. I was a witness at the secret hearing. I tried to speak in his defense, but you went a little too far and ended up facing charges yourself, didn't you? Well, suffice to say that after the trial, we were sent back to Japan. There was nothing more we could do to save Genshin. He was a lost cause, sadly. Well, if you'll excuse us now. Yes, I'd like to get this trunk up to my room as soon as possible.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I should have held you up here for so long. I'll call for the porter then. Just wait here.
Oh.
Sato-san's gone off at a run.
I'd like to stay and talk more, but I do have various preparations to make for tomorrow.
Yes, of course. It must be a big responsibility representing our entire country. I wish you the best of luck.
Naruto. I hope you'll keep an eye on Sato-san for me. Keep looking after her, as you obviously have been.
Oh no, I mean, if anyone's looking after anyone, it's her looking after me.
Well, I do appreciate you being there for her. After all, I've been a miserable father to her. I thoroughly let her down.
Sorry? What do you mean?
Well, it was 16 years ago that I started my long study here, a tour here in Britain, as you know. The very year Sato-san was born.
Yes, I heard.
The birth of my daughter was the most joyous event of my life, but... well, that was accompanied by the most tragic event of my life, too.
Oh, yes. Sato-san hinted at something like that. It was a rather turbulent time at home.
Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. The point is, I became rather less dependent on than befits a grown man. It was then that Sashiro offered me the opportunity to study here in Great Britain. I was too worried about you to leave you behind. Perhaps I was a little heavy-handed when it came to pursuing you to accompany me to London. So that's what happened in a nutshell. That's also the reason why I now feel compelled to give my daughter as many opportunities as I dare. Though the world does not readily afford young women such things, I must say. Oh, he literally became a feminist because he loves his daughter so much. That is just so unbelievably sweet. He loves his gay daughter. He would be wearing a pride shirt, going, I love my gay daughter. 100%. And Sasato-san, as far as I'm concerned, probably bi at least. If not full lesbo. I completely understand, Professor. One more thing. Naruto. If I may be so bold, I have a favor to ask you. Oh, really? Of course. What can I do for you? Well, the thing is, I'm so sorry that took so long. Mrs. Sato? Now then, allow us to take your bags. Allow me to take your bags? One moment, if you please, Porter. Of course, sir. A machine around your neck. It's a camera, I believe. Why, right, sir. Just 5 shillings for a lovely photograph to commemorate a wonderful stay at the hotel, sir. Well, I think given the occasion, we could justify the expense. Ah, yes, of course. Oh, they're too cute. I'd like to thank you for coming with me, Mr. Naruto. It's really made Father very happy, I think. Oh, well, I'm pleased then. We were interrupted before. Professor Mikotoba was about to ask me something. Shall we return to Baker Street then? I expect Iris will have some delicious tea waiting for us. Yes, let's go. Getting more and more anxious about Kazuma, though. Perhaps I'll try to meet with Lord Strongheart later and ask about him. Examine, move. Where are to move? A new location. Don't believe we visit this place. Okay. Yeah, we'll go here because we're supposed to go to Baker Street, right? Might as well. The 1st of November, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. Here's the final draft of the opening address for tomorrow's proceedings. I've supplemented your original with the figures you asked for from the yard. I see. Excellent work. Thank you. You're welcome, my lord. What's Lord Van Zeek's doing here? My, there seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air, wouldn't you say? This place is stifling enough as it is. We really don't need any more tension. My apologies. I didn't notice you come in. Your small stature and dark dress make you all but invisible to me. Oh, no. It's entirely my fault for wearing black. I'm sure. From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe whenever you come here. Now then, Mr. Naruto. Yes, sir. I'm right here. Kill me now. Is something wrong? Perhaps it's a little too hot in here for you. Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I've never experienced a room at such a perfect temperature. If you're sure, the beads of sweat carving their way down your face seem to suggest otherwise. It's the daggers you're staring at me with, mainly. As you've no doubt aware, my International Forensic Science Symposium begins tomorrow. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today. I hear, madame.
Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited.
I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands then, Lord Van Zeeks.
I will attend at once. He gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he? I know, but I haven't done anything. Have I?
These past few days, my feet have barely touched the ground, I must say. My dedicated right hand of many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left hand still in service? Mr. Naruto! He's talking about Dr. Seath! Of course. I'm terribly sorry about that. I was just,
Fear not. You've done nothing wrong. Dr. Seath's own wrongdoing perpetrated the situation. You didn't concern yourself with it any further.
It would be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stare you're giving me.
Lord Van Zeeks is doing an admirable job of holding the fort. Though disturbingly, his apprentice has been missing since yesterday.
Oh. Missing? What's become of Kazuma-sama then? I don't know, but... Here you go. Could I show you this, Lord Strongheart? I'm the Lord Chief Justice. I'm not here to offer advice about evidence. Oh. Especially when the evidence in question is so dull. Ah, so that's the real reason. Dang. He doesn't like our armband. Oof. As ever, the enormous clock is diligently maintaining its arithmetical tick-tock today. Watching the machinery at work can be quite memorizing, can't it? Ironically, you can completely forget it at the time. What I particularly enjoy is watching the enormous wheels of steam locomotive turning. When I was a little girl, grandmother often used to take me to watch the railway engines, you know? It's an open fire for me. I can sit and watch the flames for hours. Mr. Naruto, we can install one in the office. An enormous wheel, turned by an enormous steam engine. Perhaps we could just start with a simple fireplace?
Girls and their trades, that's all I'm saying.
Sitting behind the desk must have made you feel so important, don't you think? Would you like to have an office like this, Mr. Naruto? With such a grand desk?
Who, me?
No.
I don't think so.
Oh? Well, imagine if you suddenly found yourself needing the toilet. You have to go, have so far to go. How true. Perhaps the important people who work in ostentatious offices like this haven't considered such things. I take that as a compliment.
I mean, he's not wrong.
You couldn't read all these books even if you were reincarnated 6 times over as a bookworm. Lord Strongheart really have read all these? Thinking about it, all their study is full of books that look as though they've never been read too. Oh, really? Peddlers of books are forever pushing their wares on him, you see. And I think he's just too kind-hearted to refuse them. There's a phrase for that in Britain. People would say they saw him coming. Makes me wonder if perhaps the vast number of books on the shelves in here are a sign of Lord Strongheart's overwhelming kindness.
I'm not sure you could afford to make a kind heart if you had to keep Lord Van Zeeks in line, could you? Yeah, probably not. Its very European suits of armor are still glaring at each other across the carpet, I see. In a way, they feel like guardians of the Lord Chief Justice's office. I suppose they're rather like the lion dogs that guard shrines in Japan, aren't they? Aren't they a bit too human to be called lion dogs? Did you know that it's a dream of mine to keep 2 cats one day? I feel as though we've gone off a bit of a tangent. Don't you? Yes, we have, but you know, it just... You have to forgive Sasato-san. She's too cute. Alright. The Forensic Science Symposium. Not long ago, visitor numbers to the Great Exposition exceeded 30 million. 30 million? Even that many people in the world? As a comparison, Mr. Naruto, the population in the imperial capital Tokyo is 2 million. I'll be opening the International Forensic Science Symposium in the exposition's main auditorium. This event has been 2 years in the making. 2 years of preparations and negotiations with other countries. Sounds like a tremendous achievement. Congratulations. The 20th century will see the wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques and cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential. Which is why this landmark first symposium had to be hosted here at the heart of our great British Empire. In order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigative organization in the New World. It's the same as ever, I see. That position of his is quite something. Every bit as passionate in your own way, I'm sure, Mr. Naruto. I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science. It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the Yard from the ground up. The disgrace of the forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions. Yeah, sorry about that, bud. What happened there? I first established the forensic investigation team a year ago. Experimentally, to start with. With Dr. Seath at the helm, it was steadily occurring an impressive record of achievement. I was on the verge of changing its name and evaluating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department. And can you not do that now? Obviously, no one wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can't keep this story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. This incident will set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I'd say. Unintended repercussions of our trial. We simply couldn't have overlooked what had happened, though. Of course not. We should all be grateful to you both. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policies when I become Attorney General. This might delay my plans, but it won't alter. Nothing will stand in my way. That sounds like a threat, fam. About Lord Van Zeek's apprentice? Ah, yes. That came as a surprise to me, I must say. That you and he are old friends. How did he become an apprentice to Lord Van Zeeks in the first place? Came about 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by border police. They found him hiding aboard a large goods vessel.
Oh my! So he stowed away to get here.
He had no papers to identify him, no passport, and he was suffering from amnesia too. And then the fact he was clearly of Eastern descent, there were no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Van Zeeks. That way I could keep an eye on him.
But then, why the mask?
I didn't want to burden Lord Van Zeeks with tiresome explanations about why he had an Eastern apprentice.
As it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask?
He's proving to be a great help to Lord Van Zeeks. I have high hopes for his future.
By the way, do you know where he's gone?
No idea, but I believe he's left London for the time being.
Oh.
I take it you also didn't know? That the man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, I mean.
Genshin Osogi.
Well, you know, everyone commits crimes, right?
What we learned from the trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out my friend's father was...
Ah, yes. Genshin Asogi. The professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Britain.
They were such awful murderers. And unprecedented, using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon.
And no one would have believed the culprit was a foreign student invited to study here by the government. But the true identity of the killer could have been made public then. It can't be made public now. Nobody in our country knows it was him, and neither do the citizens of London.
The main motivation was to avoid aggravating relations between our two nations at the time. I understand.
Correct. However, it was to be noted that there were some supporters of the professor's apparent cause.
What? Supporters of a mass murderer?
The majority of the man's victims were a blight on the aristocracy of the day. Somewhat ironically, their deaths actually benefited society as a whole. Or so a fair few thinkers in London believed, anyway.
Right. I see. But this was still murder, wasn't it?
Oof. Renosuke would not be a fan of Luigi.
Seems very similar, doesn't it? The idea of the Reaper of the Bailey.
Well, I guess that is the case. Suffice to say, we've made this guy a little bit manty-squancy. So I think it's time, next time, to hit up Schloms for a little more friendly territory here. Until next time, though, thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you can. Till then, sayonara. Bye-bye.